This training video is focused on getting you familiar with the Codonics Safe Label system when integrated with the Omnicell Anesthesia Workstation. Safe Label system is the standard of care in hundreds of hospitals and clinical sites throughout the world. Section 1. Single Login. Logging into the AWS and SLS can be done 3 different ways. Logging in is always done on the AWS. First, using your Bio ID on the AWS. Second, by typing in your username and password. Or third, by swiping your badge. Notice that when you log into the AWS, the system automatically logs you in as the user on the SLS. Expect for this to take a few seconds, as these devices are communicating over the hospital network. You are ready to begin scanning when your initials appear in the upper right corner of the SLS as confirmation that you are logged in. Section 2. Single Logout. Logging out of the AWS will automatically log the provider out of the SLS, however, not simultaneously. This takes 4 to 6 seconds and is completed only when the SLS login screen is displayed on the SLS. When handing off a case to another provider, it is critical that the SLS must be completely logged out. Only when the entire logout process has been completed can the new provider securely log in. Section 3. Auto Login Readiness and Troubleshooting. This is the designated SLS login screen. It is common for pop-up messages to appear on the SLS prior to logging in and/or scanning a medication vial. It is important to be sure that any pop-up messages that appear on the SLS touchscreen are acknowledged and dismissed prior to logging in and scanning medications. Let's walk through some examples of typical pop-up messages. If a formulary update was sent to the SLS from pharmacy, the system displays a message indicating there was an update. Simply clear the Update Successful message. If the SLS is shut down unsafely, a message will appear indicating the system was powered down unsafely. Simply clear the message and log in. When the SLS is powered on, a message requests the date and time to be verified. Verifying the correct date and time as indicated on the screen to ensure the preparation and expiration time on your prepared syringes will be accurate. If the date and time are correct, press Yes. If not, adjust the time and date by simply clicking the touchscreen. Troubleshooting. From time to time, the AWS and SLS communication fails. Sometimes a user successfully logs into the AWS but does not get automatically logged into the SLS. Additionally, after selecting a patient and scanning a non-controlled medication, the SLS will print a syringe label. However, the medication information will not be sent to the AWS issue items list, failing to decrement. Should these occur, the provider should exit out of the AWS by pressing Exit and then log back into the AWS to reestablish communication between the systems. Section 4. Properly scanning a medication vial. When scanning a medication on SLS, hold the vial in a manner that points the barcode up toward the scanner. The vial can be oriented left, right, or vertically, with the barcode pointing up. Rest the vial on the target area. It is recommended to swipe the vial underneath the scanner, going in toward the neck area, and back out again toward you. This helps ensure the scan is captured, either on the way in or the way back out. A quick summary. Find the barcode and point it up. Rest it on the target area. Swipe it past the target area using a forward and backward motion. Section 5. Single Scanning for Non-Controlled Items. Single scanning of non-controlled medications improves workflow by eliminating redundant steps. A single scan of the medication vial on SLS automatically produces a Joint Commission compliant syringe label and simultaneously decrements the medication and adds it to the AWS Removed Items list. 1. Log in. 2. Select your patient and make sure you are in Patient Care Screen. 3. Open your non-controlled medications drawer. 4. Remove your non-controlled medications. 5. Begin to scan the barcode on the vial using SLS.
Succinylcholine, 20 milligrams per milliliter.
A label is automatically prepared and the drug is simultaneously decremented and added to the AWS Removed Items list. To recap, first log in. Next, select your patient from the Patient Care screen, then take your item from the drawer and scan it on the SLS. The audible and visual alerts from the SLS help to prevent vial and ampule swaps, mislabeling, and syringe swaps. In summary, integration benefits: saves time, provides audible and visual safety confirmations which help to prevent vial and ampule swaps, prints a Joint Commission compliant label, decrements and adds the medication to the removed items list, greatly reduces stock outs because pharmacy is getting an accurate count on bin levels. You have the medication you need at the right time, all leading to better patient care. The sections discussed from this point forward will help you understand frequently asked questions, including scenarios not incorporated in the current integration. Section 6. Controlled Medications Workflow with SLS. The workflow for controlled medications supports an integrated approach when the AWS is configured for countbacks. The workflow for controlled medications is as follows. 1. Select your patient. 2. Go to the Removed Items screen. 3. Begin typing in the drug, fentanyl. 4. Select the medication. 5. Put in the quantity that you will remove. 6. Select OK. 7. Select Remove Now and follow your guiding light technology to the bin that contains the medication. 8. Remove the fentanyl. 9. Then scan it at the SLS for a label.
50 micrograms per milliliter.
The anesthesia workstation forces the provider to decrement properly by putting in the count of fentanyl that was in the bin and the exact count that was removed. Section 7. Kits and the SLS. In this section, we will review how to work with kits and the SLS solution. It is important to note not all kits are supported under the integration. Scenario 1. Controlled substance only kits. The workflow entails removing a kit and scanning each vial in the kit on the SLS. Using the AWS, select Patient. Select Remove Kits. Select Controlled Substance Kit. Then select Remove Now. Select items in kit one by one. AWS automatically decrements controlled substances from the inventory. Be sure to scan controlled substances as they are removed from the drawer. The SLS prints each label. This process does not double decrement on the AWS.
Fentanyl, 50 micrograms per milliliter.
This process correctly records the kits removed from the AWS. Scenario 2. Non-controlled kits. The workflow for non-controlled kits is as follows. On the AWS, select Patient. Select Remove Kits. Then select Kit. Remove your non-controlled medications. Then scan the drug vial on SLS for a label. Next, prepare the syringe while the label prints. Now, apply the printed label to the syringe. Finally, selecting Remove Now on the AWS completes documentation of the medication removed without double decrementing the item. Scenario 3. Mixed kits. Mixed kits, which contain controlled and non-controlled medications, are not supported as a best practice for our integrated solution. Section 8. My Items. My Items is not currently supported by integration. Let's walk through the workflow of My Items. Select My Items. Select Add Items. Type in the beginning of the name of the item. Remove one. Select OK. Choose Remove Now, which will add the item to the Remove Items list. Once logged in on the SLS, scan the item for a label.
0.2 milligrams per milliliter.
Section 9. Sound-alike and look-alike medications. Vasopressin and ondansetron are two medications that look alike. The AWS drawers are stocked by pharmacy techs every day with hundreds of vials, many of which look and sound alike. The chance exists for the medication to get stocked into the wrong bin. Vasopressin and ondansetron are two medications that look alike and can be easily confused, especially if put into the wrong bin. In this case, my patient requires ondansetron, so I reach into the bin, select it, and then scan the vial on SLS. Immediately, SLS's visual and audible confirmations alert me that the drug I intended to select is not the drug I scanned. These visual and audible double checks act as a second set of eyes to eliminate vial and ampule swaps and let the clinician be absolutely certain that the drug they selected is the drug they intended to select prior to administration to the patient. Section 10. Drug not approved for use. SLS formulary is based on the Lexicomp drug database. When Lexicomp recalls or obsoletes a medication that is scanned on the SLS, the system provides an audible and visual warning, drug not approved for use. The anesthesia provider has the authority to decide whether or not they want to administer the medication. In this case, SLS does not produce a label. However, a provider could select blank for the virtual roles of blank labels and manually print a label. Section 11. Drug not found.
Drug not found.
From time to time, you may scan a drug on SLS that is not in its formulary. This section discusses how to label these medications. Scan the drug on SLS.
Drug not found.
SLS will identify the drug. SLS visually and audibly displays the message, Drug Not Found. This message occurs when an NDC has not yet been added to the SLS formulary. Select OK, and the SLS will automatically guide the provider to virtual roles of blank labels. Select the correct drug class color template. Once printed, write in the drug name and concentration. In the background, SLS automatically sends the drug not found information back to pharmacy so that the NDC can be added to the SLS formulary. This concludes this training video on the new integration features and functionality between the Omnicell Anesthesia Workstation and the Codonics SLS. For additional information, please contact your local sales representative.